People, the news has now broken. We can now officially talk about this. From Sky Sports website, Jake Paul to fight Anthony Joshua on December the 19th as YouTuber turned boxer confirmed sensational heavyweight fight. This will be on a Friday, by the way. So December the 19th is actually a Friday. Wow, let's read. Anthony Joshua is set to meet Jake Paul in a sensational boxing crossover bout. Hardly a crossover bout. I mean, he is a fighter. You know, he's fought professionals. So there you go. The former world heavyweight champion will box the social media star. Here's the crucial bit. In a sanctioned 8-round contest on December the 19th in Miami. This isn't an AI simulation. This is Judgment Day, Jake Paul has declared. So let's carry on further. YouTuber turned boxer Jake Paul will share the ring with former two-time unified heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua in an 8-rounder sanctioned to fight with 10-ounce gloves, 10-ounce boxing gloves, which is the normal size that they do use for heavyweights. I think it's any division past welterweight, so 154 to above. It's 10-ounce gloves. I think 147 and below, it's 8-ounce gloves. Bear in mind, when he fought Mike Tyson in that... Well, actually, no, it went on their record. It's going to the exhibition. No, it went on their record. They used 14-ounce gloves. And the 14-ounce gloves aren't normally... Well, they were that night, but they're not normally used. 10-ounce gloves is normally the limit. And after that, it doesn't get any bigger. And for heavyweights, it doesn't get any smaller. God forbid it get any smaller than that. But they will be fighting a heavyweight at the Kaseya, I think is how you say that, center in Florida. It says Paul was due to face Gervonta Davis, but the fight was cancelled after a civil lawsuit was filed against the lightweight champion, and Joshua stepped in as a formidable replacement opponent. A much better opponent, a much more dangerous one. We'll talk about that now in a second. A professional heavyweight fight against an elite world champion in his prime. When I beat Anthony Joshua, every doubt disappears, and no one can deny me the opportunity anymore to fight for a world title. I won't until I finish the article. To all my haters, this is what you wanted. To the people of the United Kingdom, I am sorry. On Friday, December 19th, under the lights in Miami, live globally on Netflix, crucially Netflix, the torch gets passed and Britain's Goliath gets put to sleep. He's a great seller, Jake Paul, I'll give him that. Joshua will be boxing for the first time since his knockout loss to then IBF champion Daniel Dubois. Jake or anyone can get this work, no mercy, Joshua said. I took some time out and I'm coming back with a mega show. It's a big opportunity for me. Whether you like it or not, I'm here to do massive numbers, have a big fight and break every record whilst keeping cool, calm and collective. Mark my words, you'll see a lot more fighters take these opportunities in the future. I'm about to break the internet over Jake Paul's face. Paul fought a heavyweight last November. Well, I mean, they're bringing up Mike Tyson as if that's really something to... He fought a heavyweight who was pushing 60 and could barely walk. The 28-year-old, who has a record of 12-1, enters the Joshua fight following a career-best victory over Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., former world champion by unanimous decision in June. Joshua, who hasn't fought since the knockout loss to Dubois last September, has twice become world heavyweight champion during an impressive professional career, which has featured 28 victories against 4 defeats. He claimed we don't need to read any of that. Okay. Everyone laughed when Jake Paul said in March that he wanted to face Anthony Joshua in 2026. The CEO of MVP Promotions said, well, plans changed, and in under 2 weeks, MVP and Netflix have made one of the biggest fights of all time now, as only Jake Paul could and would do. He's fighting one of the most fearsome boxers in the world. Joshua has every advantage in this fight except one: delusional confidence of Jake Paul. And if anyone can shock the world, it's him. This is a global clash between two of the most recognisable figures in the sport. Jake Paul is the face of boxing's new era, and Joshua the king of UK boxing. Eddie Hearn, Joshua's promoter, said, they said be careful what you wish for. Kind of feel like that's all I need to say. Two of the biggest names in the sport will collide on December the 19th. Whilst I admire Jake's cojones, not the word he used, but we'll chuck it in there, He's going to find out the hard way in Miami. End of the article, people. I mean, where do I even start with this? Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua, it's happening in just over a month's time. It's the 17th of November now. This is happening on the 19th of December, on a Friday. I mean, he fought Francis Ngannou on a Friday, March the 8th, 2024. That was a Friday, and that was seen as, well, it was a gimmick fight, and AJ flattened Ngannou in 2 rounds. Flattened him. Devastating knockout. Biggest knockout win of his career in terms of just sheer devastation. I suspect we're going to see another one on December the 19th. I give Jake Paul no chance in this fight. They spoke about delusion. Well, yeah, there's that. There's obviously the massive payday. I mean, the Mike Tyson fight, I doubt it will hit the numbers that did. But make no mistake about it, this is going to break the Canelo fight, the Canelo Crawford fight. It's going to shit and you know what all over that. I swore there, but you know what I mean. It's going to you know what all over that fight in terms of numbers. It's going to be easily second biggest show that Netflix have put on in terms of sport that they've streamed. Because Mike Tyson's obviously number one. The Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight from last year is obviously number one. This is going to be close number 2. Because Anthony Joshua is known. He's not as famous as Mike Tyson worldwide, it has to be said. But he's a lot fresher, he's a lot younger. And, you know, he's active. This is, I still can't believe it's happening. I'm not saying it like it's a good thing, but if you're Anthony Joshua, Eddie Hearn, I mean, there you go. I mean, you're making absolute, like, insane amounts of money. It's not going to be on DAZN. It's going to be on Netflix, which, when they were discussing this fight during the summer, the whole thing about this fight was what platform is it going to be on? Is it going to be on DAZN? Is it going to be on Netflix? Because Jake Paul was talking about this fight before he announced that he'd be fighting Tank Davis. And all the talk was that it was going to be on Netflix. And then it emerged that, all right, he wouldn't be facing Anthony Joshua. He'd be facing Gervonta Tank Davis instead. It's always a bit of risk in that because you never know what Tank Davis will do. And we were hearing that the reason why the Anthony Joshua fight fell through was simply because AJ has to deal with DAZN, and this was going to be on Netflix. Well, obviously now, and obviously the money is just so much that I'm sure DAZN will be getting a cut of it anyway, that they're like, you know what, just go over and fight him on Netflix. Turkey's involved with Netflix as well, so I'm sure they looked at that and just said, you know what, makes sense, go over, fight him on Netflix, make the King's Ransom, knock him out in a round or 2, come back to DAZN, and then we set up a fight against Tyson Fury next year. That to me seems to be what's going on here, because there's no way Jake Paul's going to win this fight. It's not going to happen. It ain't going to happen. People can say whatever they want about Joshua, doesn't have confidence, this, that, and the other. Jake Paul lost to Tommy Fury not even 3 years ago. Tommy Fury went life and death and barely beat KSI. I thought he lost that fight. Tommy Fury is absolute garbage. Right, this is a guy who beat Jake Paul. And he beat him reasonably soundly. I mean, he was dropped in that fight, but, you know, you couldn't really argue that Tommy Fury won that fight. He's going in there with Anthony Joshua. He struggled a little bit with a shot to bits. You know, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., who was, you know, shot to bits, was never that good anyway, you know, has had plenty of issues with, you know, substance abuse in the past. And he looked terrified in that fight at times. He's in there with a fully fledged live Anthony Joshua who's going to outweigh him by about 50 pounds. Maybe not 50 pounds, but he's going to outweigh him by at least 30 pounds. And Anthony Joshua is not a Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. He's not a screw-up like that. He's not a nearly 60-year-old Mike Tyson. He's not an old, washed-up, what's the guy's name? Anderson Silva. He's not a Ben Askren, who's not a striker. He's not Tyrone Woodley. You know what I mean? Anthony Joshua, he only just lost to Daniel Dubois, who was arguably the second best heavyweight in the world when he got stopped by Alexander Usyk. So there's no way in hell Jake Paul's going to win this fight. Let's not beat around the bush here. But for AJ, this will get him more known to the US public, because I know he still has very much is looked at as the guy who went in there against Andy Ruiz, his first ever venture into the States, and got splattered all over the canvas. So this will help a lot, knocking out Jake Paul, and especially because I think it'll be a devastating knockout. I think it's going to help his profile over there. I can't believe it. I mean, I go back to that episode of The Look Back that me and Ade did. We didn't know that was going to happen, and it cuts to AJ. Ade says, give me a few more fights. I say, Jake Paul being one of them, and it was written on his hand wrap, Jake. I think we all knew at that point this fight's going to happen. Even when this went down, I was thinking, Things like that don't just happen. You know, when you see certain things and you're like, that's a premonition. That just, there's no ifs or buts. That's there for a reason. These things don't just happen. So I knew as soon as I seen that, I was like, by hook or by crook, this fight's happening. And here it is. It'll be live on Netflix. Yeah. Let me know what your thoughts are. Listen, and here's the thing, right? I already know what people are going to say. Well, you're going to say, hang on a minute, G, right? You critiqued Tyson Fury for fighting Francis Ngannou. Correct? Yeah, I did. I absolutely did. But you're not really critiquing AJ for this fight. And I'm not really critiquing him because for a variety of reasons. One, he's been inactive. Two, he's not a world champion. Three, he's past his best. He's not claiming to be the best in the division. So I don't mind him taking a novelty fight against Jake Paul where he's going to make an absolute king's ransom. Tyson Fury was WBC heavyweight champion. Tyson Fury could have had that unification for undisputed with Alexander Usyk earlier in the year. He didn't, right? He messed around a lot before Turki Al-Sheikh came in, right? Okay, so he didn't get the Usyk fight over the line. Fair enough, right? Then he has his contenders. There's the Frank Sanchez's of the world. I know he turned out to not be very good, but Makhmudov was very highly ranked amongst others. These were all there or thereabouts, you know, champing at the bit saying, all right, well, if you're not going to fight Usyk, give us a voluntary, you know, hand in the air, like, let's have a voluntary. No, Frank Warren amongst others shut that straight down, and they go and they fight Francis Ngannou. While an active WBC champion, that's different than Anthony Joshua. He's no belt. He's not likely to fight for a belt ever again. He's way past it. I think he's way past it anyway. So I don't begrudge him this. I'm not taking this as a serious fight. I'm taking this for what it is, kind of like a bit like what Turkey does before Christmas, although he's doing it after Christmas this year. It's a big show before Christmas that we're all going to tune into. I'm going to tune into it. We're all going to tune into it. We know we're all going to tune into it. There's no ifs or buts. We're all going to watch it. And yeah, that's what I got to say. That's my thoughts on it. Let me know yours in the comment section below. As always, people, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you could, smash the like button, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. Until next time, people. Peace.